and welcome to another episode of the Nord and Block Podcast. It is Sunday, January 26th, 2025. I am your host here, Nordic 97, joined with my other host, LeBlock James. LeBlock, how we doing?
We're doing great today. It's a great day to do a podcast with you.
Good, that's good to hear. No surprise trades, not this time.
Not this time.
Program, so no surprise trades there. For those who do not know, we're gonna just jump right into it because we did make an emergency episode on the Mikko Rantanen trade. We're gonna go over it a little bit again. We're gonna talk about some of the stuff that we didn't know at the initial point of making the emergency episode. But to recap the trade, the Carolina Hurricanes acquired forward Mikko Rantanen, who was retained 50% by the Chicago Blackhawks, forward Taylor Hall, and the Colorado Avalanche acquired forward Marty Necas, forward Jack Drury, a 2025 second-round pick, and a 2026 fourth-round pick. Chicago, who is retaining 50% on Rantanen, is getting back their 2025 third that they traded to Carolina back in last year's draft. So, yeah, again, we made a whole emergency video on it, so we're not going to go into it too much. Again, I think that we covered it very well in the video, so you guys can go check that out. But again, it was a trade that completely caught us off guard. I did not expect Rantanen to get traded whatsoever. We figured that it was going to be something they were going to be able to work out with the contract negotiations, but it seems like they weren't able to get anything done. And from what we heard this past couple of days, it's kind of surprising, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you look at Rantanen's stature in the league. You don't see guys of his stature getting moved mid-season, no less. What we've heard from Carolina is that they had a deal in place with Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, I believe that was. So basically, apparently there were two offers on the table where they were looking at Elias Pettersson, and were like, maybe we'll go out and get him. And they were looking at Miller as well. And they had two options. They could either go for Elias Pettersson or they could go for Mikko Rantanen. And I think it's pretty obvious what you should have chosen. They chose the right.
Yeah. The thing is that when Vancouver asked for Necas in a Pettersson deal, and Carolina was like, yeah, sure. But they also asked for Necas in a JT Miller hypothetical deal, and they shut that down immediately.
Yeah, I mean, again, that makes a lot of sense to me because Miller is a lot older than Pettersson. Yes. Miller is also older than Necas. When you're making a trade for Pettersson, you're getting a younger, pretty good forward for another young, pretty good forward. So that makes sense. As opposed to Miller, you're getting a older, still good, but older forward for a really good young forward. So you get what I'm saying? I don't, again, that wasn't going to work out either way. I think, again, Carolina made the completely right choice. And again, you brought it up in the video. Eric Tulsky seems like he's going really aggressive this trade deadline and has done a lot of things that GMs don't usually do, honestly.
He's not your traditional GM. I want to say he's a maverick in his field. He's doing stuff that you wouldn't really see. He's unconventional, and honestly, I kind of like it.
Yeah, I do too. I think he really is a good fit he's a really good fit for that team, and I think that he's actually really good for this league because he's bringing in all these big trades that we can talk about. Andy Strickland tweeted out today. He's a ringside reporter for FanDuel Sports Network, co-host of the Cam and Strick podcast. He said Mikko Rantanen was completely caught off guard by the trade and was very upset. Colorado showed very little to no interest in attempting to re-sign him over the last several months. This was a panic move by Colorado. Do you agree with that statement?
I kind of agree with the fact that, we saw what Rantanen wanted. He wanted Draisaitl money. And I think you pointed out in the video is that Makar's got to be extended, not this upcoming offseason, but to the following offseason.
I believe he is 2026. Yes.
Yeah, so they chose in the end they chose Makar over Rantanen, and I feel like this was sort of a panic move because you could have went for another run with Rantanen. Like you're like Colorado's still a contender.
Hmm.
They're not like if they were a if they were like turning towards a rebuild, I understand the move, but you're still a contender in the West.
Exactly. Like it feels a little weird. Like you could have. I mean, again, like even if you do lose him to free agency, you could have still probably tried and make a run. But again, I guess that they wanted to get assets back in return. But again, as we said in our video, like they are worse after this. They are a worse team, even with what they got back.
Yeah, and I think we've pointed this out is that anytime you give up the best player in the trade, you usually lose that trade 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. So again, I think that we'll have to see how the trade works and if Rantanen really does re-sign with Carolina because that's what matters. Like if Rantanen ends up walking in free agency, then that's probably a pretty bad
And
look. I think they're probably going to get it done, in my opinion.
I honestly think he's gonna walk. That's just my prediction. I don't know. I feel like he could be a guy that walks because either if he goes off with Carolina, he could get serious money on the market.
I don't know. They're already talking about signing him now, though.
Yeah,
That's
like
that.
I don't know. I had a prediction at the beginning of the season that Rantanen wasn't going to resign in Colorado, and that Rantanen would end up being a New York Ranger. That was my prediction at the start of the year from one of my bold takes, and I'm gonna stick to it.
Well, realistically, you look at the Carolina Hurricanes. If is Rantanen going to ask for the same amount of money there, and are they really going to be able to get that done? That's the other question you got to think about
Carolina.
too, though.
Here's the other thing: if you let Rantanen walk, you're gonna have a lot of money this offseason.
Yeah. So that is the other thing. But again, they're going to definitely at least try and sign him for sure. But I'm going to say this, like,
Definitely.
Mikko Rantanen as a rental, and again, he's retained. He's only like 4.6 on the Carolina, like he's only getting paid by them that much, which is still unbelievable. And I think that if they can figure out a way to maybe make another move, maybe upgrade depth or things like that, I feel like that could really go a long way.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'm gonna flip to the other side. I think Colorado has many more moves to make.
I agree. We went in that a little bit in our video. Again, we keep referring to it, but it was a pretty good video, I must say. I think that they really do have more to come. They have $5.6 million in cap space. I definitely think you need to make a move after that because again, you got worse on the ice. You're definitely a much worser team, and you need to at least try and make another move, another big move to try and get back into contention. And well, they are a contender, but still, I also think too they desperately need to make a like another move for another big name forward.
Yeah,
Honestly, that forward core is looking real weak right now. Even with the injuries, it's so weak. All right, let's move on from the Mikko Rantanen trade and all of that. Let's put that behind us before another rainy day. Tony DeAngelo signed a 1-year, $775K deal with the New York Islanders. This is a very interesting signing. I actually think that in a way, it's kind of a good move for the Islanders. Now, hear me out. Even though I don't particularly like DeAngelo defensively, the Islanders need offensively defended-minded players like a guy like DeAngelo. Like Noah Dobson was just placed in LTIR a couple days ago, so I think that DeAngelo, again, he may not be the best offensive defenseman you could bring in, but again, you look at that blue line, it's either guys who just cannot score defensively or just defensive machines. So again, I think in a sense of that it makes sense, but again, there's a lot of people who do not like it at all.
yeah. The Islanders need to put the puck in the net. That's their biggest issue right now.
Yes.
And bringing in a guy like DeAngelo, even though he's playing third pairing, maybe he'll get on that second pair eventually. But those are good minutes offensively for a guy who is known for providing offense.
Yeah. So again, I we'll have to see how it works out. Again, it is just a deal that's going to be on contract until the very end of the season, so it's not a huge like if it doesn't work, you can just let him go. But yeah, I think it will work out. The other signing that happened in New York was one that I was like, no, I don't like this. Will Borgen signed a 5-year, $4.1 million extension with the New York Rangers. Borgen this season with the New York Rangers. Again, he was traded to the Rangers midway through the year in the Capo Caco trade. Borgen has 4 points in 18 games played. Apparently, though, he's been actually a pretty good defensive fit for New York. But LeBlanc, how do you feel about this one?
So what are we doing? Like I'll be honest, Ray. I don't know what Chris Drury is doing here, but Will Borgen. I'm sorry, Will Borgen is no disrespect to the player. He's not. You give $4 million to guys who are like top 4D, second pairing, maybe a third pairing guy. Will Borgen is a seventh defenseman.
Okay, I like the money, or I like the player, not the money. Sorry, I like the player. I like Borgen. I think he's a good defenseman. I think he's a third pairing defenseman, like you said. He is really worth more than Ryan Lindgren.
Yeah, that's like I don't understand. Like analytically, Will Borgen is not an analytical darling whatsoever. You see some of his game charts from I went through this previously. I went through his game charts the past 5 games. Numbers aren't pretty. Numbers are not pretty. I'll put it that's Artem Zub money.
This is a reactionary signing with how he's looked. Like, again, maybe the analytics don't say it, but I think he probably, they have been saying that he's been a good fit, and I'm going to take them at their word for it. You're paying him 4.1 for the next 5 effing years.
Yeah, the term. I don't like the term. I don't like the money. Like, this is a contract where I don't understand what led the Rangers to give him 5 years. Like, if this was like a 2-year.
I hate everything about this.
If it was at 2 years at 4.1, then you can say, I like the money, but it's 2 years.
Yeah, again, like, I still don't agree with that in a sense, but again, maybe you have to pay him that much, maybe just to stick with him, and maybe the salary cap's going up, and you're like, yeah, okay, I guess it makes a little bit of sense. Still, though, $4.1 million for a third pairing defenseman on this team? Come on.
I don't. Drury's gone off the deep end. It was bound to happen eventually.
I thought it already happened, but... Yeah, again, that was a massive head scratcher. This massive head scratcher. Like, I still don't understand it. Colin White, and we'll go former Ottawa Senator. Colin White signed a 1-year, $850K deal with the San Jose Sharks. LeBlanc, how does that feel?
Oh, Sens legend Colin White. Colin White was a guy in Ottawa who just didn't he was paid too much money at the end of his career, and it didn't work out. I would have loved to see Colin White still in the Sens, but I think he can provide a good bottom 6 role, or even probably a good 13th forward, 12th forward for a team that's looking to just get bodies in there and get some guys experience. He could be a good vet probably for some of those young guys too.
I brought that up just because he's a Sens legend, and I know LeBlanc loves him. I want to talk about this. Alex Pietrangelo is withdrawing from the Four Nations to tend to an ailment and prepare for the remainder of the season with the Vegas Golden Knights. That's cool and all, but I'm looking at my screen over here. It's the Panthers, Golden Knights game. Pietrangelo is right there. This is a lot. By the way, he's literally right there. I hope that didn't pick that up that bad because I might get copyrighted. But he's literally playing right now. He's saying that he has an injury, but he's playing.
Yeah, my man, you are in you're in the lineup.
That's not a good look at all.
It means number one, he's playing hurt, or B, he just doesn't want to go.
I think it's more.
I think it's A. You mean it's more the second one?
It might be A. I think it's a little bit of both. Be honest with you. I don't really know why it's not a good look. If you're gonna do that, at least announce it 2 weeks before Four Nations, and not or 2 games before Four Nations maybe. 2 or 3 games, is what Bartner said, and not now when you're literally about to play the night of. Like it's not a good look. It's
Brother
not
was
a
caught. Brother was caught in 4K. Like
exactly. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so Canada is down a defenseman. They now have 6D, so they need to bring in one more as their extra guy or a guy to fit in on that slot. We're gonna go through some options here that we think could be, replacements for him. We'll go into a couple. LeBlanc, what was the first guy that really came to your mind to be on this Four Nations team and
a
replace
guy I thought should have been on the Four Nations team to begin with. I went. My first thought was Mackenzie Weegar.
Yeah, Mackenzie Weegar was the second guy I thought of actually. I think he is a really well-rounded defenseman. I think he would fit in well with those players on Canada. I'm trying to think like who was on that roster. Hang on. One of the guys that I also thought about too is Drew Doughty. Doughty was another guy that I thought about. He does have an injury, so maybe that's why they were a little bit afraid of him. But I think that he's a veteran defenseman. He would be a good fit on this team.
I thought of Doughty, but I think Doughty just got back from injury. Do you think the Kings want him going to that tournament? What if he gets hurt?
That is true. I didn't think about that. But again, like is it up to Doughty or can the team say something?
I think both can have a say. I think the team can like urge Doughty not to go, but I think it's Doughty's say.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm looking at the defensemen for this team: Cale Makar, Josh Morrissey, Colton Parayko, Travis Sanheim, Shea Theodore, and Devon Tays. Okay, so yeah, another guy that I thought of was Evan Bouchard. Bouchard's having a little bit of a worser year than he usually does at this point in the season.
Just down year.
Would be a good option. Thomas Harley as well was another guy that I maybe thought of for Canada too, and then Chris Tanev was another guy that I thought of too as a defensive.
I had a guy he probably won't get it, but I think he deserves some recognition. Is Thomas Chabot? I think he's having an outstanding year.
Yeah, Chabot's another good one. Again, I don't think that they would. He's kind of forgotten.
Yeah,
that, but he kind of is. Again, maybe he gets in, but I think they're going to look at Weegar and Doughty and all those players as well. What about a guy like
Brandon Montour?
Montour was another guy. I don't necessarily think so. I don't know if he's been the greatest guy with Seattle, but again, Seattle has not been that good either. So, Dougie Hamilton.
I can see Hamilton, but I'm looking at the guys you said on the roster. There's not a lot of scoring defensemen.
No. So, well, there is Makar and Morrissey. I feel like it might be Bouchard that gets on there.
Yeah, I feel like Bouchard should be the bet there. Weegar is a guy who's going to provide you good defense and provide some offense.
Yeah, so I mean,
and Drew Doughty you can do both though.
That is true. So I don't know. Maybe they lean Drew Doughty in that.
I don't know, but like I've said before, Team Canada is not serious about winning anymore. So they're going to take. They're going to take whoever wants to go. Whatever.
Yeah. Again, so we'll have to see where.
But I do have one thing. With Pietrangelo pulling out, does this mean we're going to see more players pull out?
That's a good question.
Another one I would say that might pull out is Linus Ullmark. With Markstrom down, he's the starter, and he has not played hockey in a month.
We heard that too. Yeah. We got to get into that as well. I forgot about that. But yeah, with Markstrom, with Ullmark, that could very well happen again. Like that's why I also think too, like Doughty may not be playing in the tournament because of that reason as well. I think it might be possible that Ullmark is like, no, I don't want to play. Like
I'm pulling myself out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get hurt again. So I could see that happening as well. Again though, if Ullmark really does pull out of Sweden, then they are in deep poop. They do have Gustafsson though as their third string guy. So
yeah, Gustafsson. Then they brought in Urson, and then they had to bring in one more. Who do you think that one more would be?
Yeah, so we'll get into that. Markstrom is out 6 to 4 weeks with a ACL injury. It's actually not. It's actually good news for the Devils because they thought it was going to be a lot longer. When you looked at the play itself, it's bad news for Sweden though, because again they lose like probably what was going to be their starting goaltender. So right now their three-string triangle is Omark, Gustafson, and Sam Urson. How did you feel about Urson being the guy they called in?
I didn't mind it. I thought I couldn't really think of anybody else who may have was more deserving than Sam Urson.
Um, I'll
You
get
could,
back to that.
yeah. The only one I can think of that's Swedish at the goalie right now is Joel Lovenquist. I don't know why I can't think of any other Swedish goalies though.
Your boy Anton
And
Forsberg.
Anton Forsberg. He's had a good month, but I think Urson is better than Forsberg.
Yeah, actually, like when I look at like the Swedish goalies, like besides Urson, it's like Forsberg and then like Jonas Johansson. So
Yeah.
yeah, I again like a lot of people had a problem with that. They're like, why the hell did they pick Sam Urson of all people? I don't think his stats really speak well of like he is a good goalie. I just think that there's not a really good defense in front of him either. That's the other thing with
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
like you got like other goal like Forsberg is Soderblom Swedish?
Yes,
Yes, Arvid Soderblom from Chicago. He has good games in him. He's just playing in front of a very 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 bad Blackhawks team.
I remember there was a stat for years, like where Soderblom had like a 2-26 record in the NHL. Like he had like an atrocious record. Hang on a second, I can tell you his record again. Like because he made his debut for the really bad Blackhawks team. Okay, so he has played. Oh my God, he's played 71 games in his NHL career. He has 13 wins. Holy crap.
13?
13 wins in 71 games played. Hang on a second.
I feel so bad for him now. I feel so.
So so he has an 18% success rate when he plays in that. Oh my God. I mean, to be fair though, like he made his like debut, like his first season with the with the Blackhawks in that year where they were terrible.
Yeah.
And they've gotten worse since, but he's gotten actually better. His stats have gotten better, but
Yes. I have a fun fact about Soderblom though.
oh boy, is he from
So
Ottawa?
no. So Soderblom in shootout attempts against him, he is 0 for 9.
In shootout attempts?
So every shootout he's been in, he's not had a save.
That's funny. That's actually crazy. Well, I mean, he hasn't played that many, but that still is a little
Yeah,
bit crazy.
because I was watching the Blackhawks Predators game the other night, and they said, "Oh yeah, he's never had a save." I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you?
That's actually wild, honestly. All right, moving on from the Team Canada, Team USA fiasco and all that stuff. Looks like the IIHF is going to consider the readmission of Belarus and Russia in early February for the 2025-26 events. Again, we have our own opinions on this. I'm not getting my hopes up, though.
No, I'm not getting my hopes up either. Now, I will say this, as a fan of the World Juniors, who's watched it for many years, it does feel weird to not have Russia in the World Juniors because you think of Russia's a hockey factory. They pump out prospect after prospect after prospect. It's weird not having them there, but at the same time, you look at on the world stage what happened, what's going on. It's complicated.
Yeah, it is complicated, and again, we have our own opinions on it. I'm not going to get into that here, but again, I'm not getting my hopes up for them possibly coming back this season at the very least. I did miss something involving Team Sweden. William Karlsson might miss the 2025 Four Nations too due to a lingering injury. So Vegas is just pulling all.
Here's the thing. I would say if Vegas doesn't want the players to go, they're just gonna pull them all. But I'm pretty sure Stone made Team Canada and he's still going.
Yeah.
Same with Eichel.
Yeah, not good news though for Team Sweden.
Not good.
Losing Markstrom and possibly Olmark and Carlson, just not a great news. I think that's it for news. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about?
There was a hit last night. Nick Cousins and Leafs goalie, Leafs rookie. I think his last name is Quigley. I'm not 100% sure.
You're talking about the knee on
Yeah.
knee contact.
So there was a knee on knee hit, but it's not how it seems.
Okay.
Because if you look closely at the hit, Quigley moves out of the way to avoid the hit, and they collide knee on knee. And as a result, Nick Cousins is now going to miss some time. I know how we all feel about Nick Cousins, how he's a rat, but like this is not an intentional play. It's a sorry. Like, would you? I was always told when I was playing hockey growing up, take the hit because if you move, you don't want to you don't want to shred your knee.
Yes. Again, I don't know. I don't really know. It looks like there's going to be there's no supplementary.
There's not, because for me, it looks like an accident. I wouldn't want any discipline on the kid, but like it's not a smart hockey play. That's all I'm going to say about it.
No, it's not. So you were at the game, right?
Yes, I didn't see. So from my angle, I was behind one of the nets. So from my angle, it didn't look like there was a big collision. It didn't look like there was a knee on knee until I got home and saw the video.
Yeah, I saw the video too. I didn't even know that kid was making his debut tonight. Kind of wild.
Yeah, and his parents were in the crowd. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually did want to ask you this. How did you feel about the Toronto Maple Leaf invasion that happened?
So I always say the invasion is blown out of proportion, because like, oh, look at me, I'm taking a video at warm-ups. It's warm-ups. Of course, Leaf fans are going to come down and see. I always say it's a 60-40 split for the Leafs, and it's like, oh, Ottawa can't sell what they're building. No, it's been an issue since 1992. This is not a new issue for us. Like, it's cheaper to drive from the GTA 5 hours to Ottawa, tickets for the game, hotel, drive back, gas, than it is to go see a game in Toronto.
We could talk about that too, because isn't lower bowl seats, like in Toronto, ungodly expensive?
It's ridiculous. Like, you're looking, my buddy always just tell me, he's like, do you want lower bowl seats to a Leafs game? You gotta either know someone, be in a corporation, or sell your firstborn child. Like, yeah, and I will say this: those games in Ottawa, of Toronto, Ottawa, in Ottawa, those games are loud and they're fun, because the last night a section above us was chanting Austin Matthews, and every time, and after it, all of a sudden we would just scream "sucks." It's like having a neutral site game. It's fun.
I'm looking at tickets right now on TickPick for a Leaf home game. It looks like for the lower bowl, the average oh my god, to get behind the bench, holy crap, it's like $400.
That's a good price, actually. That's a
good price.
Wait, that's American though. Is it?
Oh, that is American. Yeah, that's right. It's different.
So that's like $700.
Holy shit! What are we doing? Do you really expect your fans? Like, again, you guys, like, I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan. I'm a Flyers fan. I have sat lower bowl tons of times at Flyers games. It is not that. Again, it is still expensive. It is still more expensive at a Flyers game. But people like us can afford it. People like me can afford it, and I'm not that financially good. Do you really expect your fans to afford that much money?
It's because they don't expect their fans to be lower bowl. They expect their fans to be up in the nosebleeds. The lower bowl is for suits.
No wonder that arena is so freaking quiet.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, it's the quietest arena in the country.
You can speak for that because you have been to what? How many of the Canadian arenas?
I've been to 5 out of 7. Yeah, so I've been to the Scotiabank Arena. I haven't done that for a Leafs game, but I've had friends who've gone to Toronto for a game and say it is just it's a library.
That's insane.
like Vancouver, loud. Calgary, loud. Edmonton, really loud.
Oh yeah, they love that team
Yeah,
there.
even Ottawa's loud too. But like it's night and day. Like the real fans are. I always say the real fans are watching at bars or they're when the playoffs they're in Maple Leaf Square.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah, but like going back to the invasion. Like I always say it's an invasion. Yeah, there's a lot of Leaf fans. It's been an issue. It's what happens when you put a new team in the middle of two of the biggest hockey markets.
Yeah, between Ottawa and Montreal. Does it get packed in there when it's a Montreal game?
Yes.
Is it
It's
as bad as Toronto?
no, it's not as bad, but it blends in better because both teams are red. Both teams.
Well, yeah, that obviously makes sense.
I would say the Habs fans are louder though, and they don't come as much. They don't. There's less of them, even though Montreal's closer.
That is a little strange. Again, well, I also think too, like there's still probably a lot of Leaf fans in Ottawa, right?
So I will say this, before the Senators were here, you were either a Montreal fan, a Toronto fan, or a Boston fan.
Ugh.
Those were the three teams around. So when Ottawa came in, some ditched their loyalties and became Sens fans. Some stayed with their allegiances. And
Yeah,
like growing up, I had friends whose dads were Leafs and Habs fans.
I mean, again, like you went how long without that team being there? Like 70 years. Like
70
again,
years, yeah.
like a whole generation went through without a team being in Ottawa. I wonder what it must have been like seeing the NHL come back to that city. Like it must have been like insane.
It was insane because Ottawa beat out a bunch of bigger cities. Because the NHL owed Ottawa a team.
I guess they did, yeah.
They did because they basically got like Ottawa is a big part of the NHL's like early history. The city and the team, yeah.
Won a lot of the cups back in the day.
So the NHL always felt like they owed Ottawa another team, and so far I'd say after 30 plus years, it's successfully garnered a fan base, but they need it they need to get a new arena. They need to do all this stuff, and but like you said, Toronto lower bowl seats expensive. I've been lower bowl at Sens games multiple times. I think the most I paid for a seat is I paid $200. I think.
Well, I've been lower bowl a bunch of times. There have been a couple of times where like a lot of like if you guys follow me on others on like Instagram and stuff, you guys would have seen that I sat like third row one time at a game. That's because I got those tickets for free as a gift from somebody. Other times though, I think the most I've paid, or the most I guess my parents have paid, probably around the same amount you paid, honestly. Like again.
Yeah, and when I was in college, we had a guy there. I used to sit like second row from the ice for like $80.
That's wild. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, back then the economy was different. But
Yeah. Also, back then the Sens were really bad. So
that is true. So
like when the team's bad, it's really easy to get tickets for cheap. Like
just wait till the team's really good.
yeah, they've already they raised prices a lot this year. I expected if Ottawa makes the playoffs, it doesn't go up. So
do you get first dibs on those tickets since you're like a half? Or you?
Yeah, I'm a half season seat member. So basically, I know the prices before they get released to the public.
Oh.
So when my package went up by $60, I'm like, what the hell?
Hell, man. Oh.
Like I said, Toronto, like even though their players have called it out, have called their fans out.
Matthews made a comment on Wednesday night about how like I wanted a little bit more pop from the crowd, and said all those things. And again, like I think that for them, we've gone so off track in this. I don't even really care. But again, with Toronto, like, what do you expect? Just a bunch of suits?
Yeah, and like the only person they can blame is the corporation of MLSD themselves. Like they made this mess. They made this mess. This is why. But Toronto, even for like basketball, when the Raptors were good in the playoffs, Raptors tickets were insanely expensive too. Toronto always has the most expensive regular season and playoff tickets.
Still crazy. Well, aren't they like the biggest?
They're the biggest city in Canada.
Yeah, so that I guess that makes some sense, but still.
And not Leaf fan, but Toronto sports fans think they're the center of the universe.
You're gonna get shocked on that one. All right, let's move on from that before
Yeah.
LeBlanc says something else that makes Leaf fans angry. We don't want another Ridley Gregg incident. We wanted to look at, so since Mikko Rantanen is one of the 2025 free agents, we wanted to look at the 2025 free agent class and look at guys and see if, like, talk about if they'll stay or if they'll go. And we'll go through about like maybe 15, 20 of the guys. We'll go to some goalies as well. But I think it'd be probably a fun discussion because there's a couple guys on here that, like, they might be big name players who might not stay on their team.
Okay.
So let's just hop straight right. Oh, what do you have?
Nope. No, it's an okay. I just said okay.
Okay. Let's just hop straight into it here, starting off with Mitch Marner, who leads all of these players in points in this class. He has 68 points so far this season. 27 years old, coming off of a 6-year extension, which I can't believe that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, it makes me feel so old.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I remember when that was going on.
I remember when he got stopped walking to the bus stop when I saw him. I got signed because that was the year. Yeah, that was the year where he didn't get signed till like September.
Yeah, he's been for a while.
But yeah, Marner, after a somewhat disappointing year last year, he's really, really showing out.
Yeah, he's improved dramatically. This has been an awesome year from him. I think they do keep him around.
I think he's a local kid. He wants to stay in Toronto. I think they're going to find a way to do it. However, he's playing his way to more and more money.
He is.
So if Toronto doesn't meet his financial needs, you could potentially see him maybe test. He might test the market, but I still think he'll find his way back to Toronto.
On the open market, how much do you think he could get realistically? 13, 14?
I was going to say like 12, 12.5.
12? Okay. Maybe I'm...
12, like 12. Honestly, 11.5 to 13 would be the range, I think.
Well, he's getting 10.9 right now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you think that... Well, again, he's going to get a raise no matter what. Do you think... Yeah. Do you think he stays with Toronto, though?
I think he does.
Okay. Next up, we talked about him a little bit earlier in the episode. Mikko Rantanen has 64 points this season with the now Carolina Hurricanes. Again, we talked about it. It'll depend on if Carolina has the money. LeBlanc, you already said your opinion earlier, but just state it again.
He's going on Broadway, baby. He's going to be a New York Ranger.
This freaking guy. I think Carolina is going to fight heaven and earth to sign him. Otherwise, unless if you get somebody back that's better than him in free agency, it's not the greatest look.
Yeah, like you said, they're gonna move heaven and earth to make it happen. So
yes, they're gonna try their best.
I realistically think he will re-sign with Carolina, but I just say he's going to be a Ranger just to piss everybody off.
Yeah, he's coming off of another 6-year extension that was worth 9.25. So yeah, he could probably get 12, 13, maybe 14.
13.5. I think they may go for on the open market. He would get 14.
Probably, for sure. Next up, then Matt Duchene, 47 points, is coming off of a 1-year extension worth $3 million. He's been a really good fit for Dallas. I think he could get a little bit more money, though. Do you think he stays?
As long as Dallas is in contention, I think he's going to stick around.
Probably. Again, he's been a good acquisition for them.
Matt Duchene likes anywhere that you can wear a cowboy hat at the grocery store. Like he generally likes it in Dallas, so I think he'll stay.
Yeah, I agree. Mikael Granlund from the Sharks, 43 points this year, coming off of the last year of a 4-year, $5 million deal. I don't know. I think he gets traded first off.
I think he gets traded, and then I think you could see him sign.
It'll have to depend where. It'll have to depend where he gets traded to and all that.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I see it, but New Jersey and Mikael Granlund seems like a match.
Okay. Well, let's just say that he sticks with San Jose. Do you think they sign him?
Yes, if they did, we'll try and sign him.
Okay. Mm-hmm. On the open market, how much do you think a guy like him could get? Do you think he gets more than 5 or less than 5?
I think he can get 6.
I feel like he would be somebody who thinks he's worth more than he really is, and then he ends up holding out until like mid-July, late July. I don't know.
I feel like on the market he can probably get 6 million.
Yeah, maybe. Again, like it'll have it. I don't. He's 32 years old, so it'd have to be a shorter term deal probably, but I could see it. Nikolai Ehlers, 43 points this year, coming off of the 7-year, $6 million extension he signed. There were rumors in last offseason that he might get traded or might get moved from Winnipeg. Do you still believe in that, and do you think that he will stay or go?
Winnipeg's having a great year, and I feel like that might factor in. Like, if Winnipeg goes on a playoff run, like, how do you not stay?
I agree. Again, like unless if they do lose in the first round, then I could see them maybe moving on from him. But I think that he's had a really good season. Like again, 43 points. He's putting up good pace numbers. I think at this rate he's on pace to have like a 70-point season. So again, like I think you could lock him up to another. Again, he's 28 years old too, so he's literally like in his prime. I think you'd be stupid not to at least try and keep him around.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, you want to like a team, I think would be a fit for him.
Any team needs a center, or not a center, needs a really good scoring winger. Honestly,
the Red Wings.
The Wings could work, but again, they've been known to signing guys to big contracts.
Yeah.
So.
Stevie, put down the phone.
Put down the damn phone. John Tavares coming off of the last year of an $11 million contract. I think he stays in Toronto, but he gets less.
If he is somewhere else next year, I will be genuinely shocked.
I could see it happening because again, Marner is coming off the books, and they might not. And with Marner, he might ask for a lot, and they might not have enough money to.
I feel like he like once again another local kid who went home. He honestly he could sign like a 40 like for 4-3.
Maybe, yeah. He might say to himself like, I've earned enough cash in this league.
This is where I want to retire. Like,
yeah, it's time for me to maybe make a little bit less these next couple of years and really lock down and try and get this team a championship, which it actually could go a long way.
Yeah, the only reason I would see Tavares leaving is if he doesn't feel like he's being respected by the organization.
Yeah,
and the organization says we're going in a different direction.
Yeah, I could see that too. Again, it really depends on like what happens in the playoffs. Like,
that's the thing about these contenders. Like, playoffs are a big factor. Like some players either want the bag or they want success.
I also think though, like they're still gonna, even if they do lose in the playoffs, they're still gonna keep them around just because they want to run it back every goddamn year. Yeah. So, we'll have to see. Brad Marchand, this is an interesting one, coming off of a 8-year, $6.125 million deal. Marshy's interesting.
He's gonna want to raise,
but he's 36.
He's still gonna want to raise. He's still gonna want.
I don't. Yeah, he probably will get some kind of raise. It's going to be a bridge. It's going to be a shorter term deal, though.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like if Bruins miss the playoffs, they're probably going to clean house, and maybe new management doesn't want to. Says we're going in a different direction.
It does depend if they do really want to clear house.
If they miss playoffs, I can maybe see Marchand walking, but it's also Brad Marchand. He's the captain of the Bruins. I don't see him not being a Bruin.
He's also been listed as a trade candidate, which I can't really see unless Boston goes on like a 12-game losing.
No. If Boston tanks, tanks, like they lose like their next 8 of their next 10, I could see them being
not even that. Like if they I think it would have to be worse. Like you lose you go on an insane losing
like 12 out of your next 15.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I really can't see him leaving Boston. But crazier things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
We'll move down the list here a little bit. Brock Besser, 32 points this season, coming off of a 3-year, $6.6 million deal. There have been rumors of him maybe leaving.
He gone.
He gone? Really?
He gone.
Why?
I feel like he's had enough of Vancouver. Like, You look at what's happened with all the media in Vancouver. You look at the situation right now in Vancouver. Badger's also been in trade rumors for years.
That is true.
I feel like kind of like DeBrusque. He had triggers for years in Boston. I feel like he's going to take this opportunity to get out.
I don't know. In a way, too, like, I feel like there might be some teams who are a little bit, I don't know, because Besser, I don't really think he's been the same since that injury that he dealt with in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
What was it?
Blood clots.
Yeah, blood clots. So, again, like, that's the kind of injury that some players, it's hard for them to come back from. So, I don't know. Like, we'll have to really see. Like, again, I think he could stay with Vancouver. If they trade one of Pettersson or Miller, you got to keep him. You have to. You can't lose Miller. And
if you lose both or one, you got to keep them.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Jacob Chikrin from Washington, 32 points this year, coming off of a 6-year, $4.6 million deal. Chikrin's 26. He's going to want to pay. He's going to want to pay, right?
Chikrin's an interesting case because I can see him staying because it's a really good fit. However, he's going to want the bag.
He looks like he loves it in Washington, but like he was getting paid 4.6 for 6 years, and he's 26 years old. So this is his one chance with the salary cap going up to really make some money. So again, I could really see it happening.
He's going to want the bag.
Yes, for sure. Brock Nelson, 31 points this year, coming off of a 6-year, $6 million deal.
He gone.
He gone?
He's gonna get traded. He'll get traded first.
That depends though, because the Islanders are kind of getting.
They're streaking right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't put it past them if they do get back in that race. They are still
they're still pretty far out. Yeah. I think they trade him to a contender. I don't see the Islanders as a threat to the wild card right now. I feel like, I'll be honest, I got a take here. Trade to a contender, and then the offseason, Chicago brings him in.
That's not a bad idea. That might be something they do try and go and do. So that's not a bad idea. I like that. What about Claude Giroux, Ottawa Senator, 31 points this season, coming off of the 3-year deal he signed with the Senators? What do you think happens there?
I'd be really surprised if he leaves.
I think he probably does stick around, especially after this year. Like this year, they look like they are legitimate. Like they can do something. Yeah. So maybe he signs with a cheaper deal.
He also like Buddy lives 5 minutes from the arena.
Yeah, he literally lives in Ottawa, so it would be a big shocker if you left it once.
The only reason I could see him leaving is if he wants to win a cup.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say if he wants to go back to Philly. Yeah, maybe. But again, I feel like if that were to happen, it'd be like a trade. It'd be a trade deadline. Honestly.
Yeah, but I don't see Ottawa trading him.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Jamie Benn, coming off of an 8-year, $9.5 million deal. He's 35.
I'm not gonna lie. I see Dallas moving on.
You think so? From their captain? Wow.
I don't know. I could see Jamie Benn somewhere else.
I can't see that. I think they would keep him around just on a shorter term, cheaper deal.
I don't know. I can see Jamie Benn going somewhere else. I can see Dallas using his money, the money off the books better. Let's say you want to bring him back to 3.8, $4 million. You could take the whole money, 9.5, and just use it somewhere else. There's a lot of look what happened with Stamkos.
True, but I feel like Ben Ben is not better than Stamkos.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But I'm saying there's a lot of good UFAs in this class.
Well, now that you bring up Stamkos, that is a pretty good point. What about Patrick Kane coming off of the 1-year, $4 million extension he got?
I feel like Kane's gonna leave.
Probably. I don't.
I like him in Detroit though. I want to see him stick around, but I don't know. I don't see him sticking around willingly if the Detroit's not in the playoffs.
Where's he really gonna go? That's the other thing.
Back to the Rangers.
Of course. We'll go a couple more and then we'll get into some goalies. Sam Bennett coming off of a 4-year, $4.4 million deal.
Stays.
Probably stays, yeah. I think Bennett, brings a lot, brings the physicality, brings the offense too. It's been a little bit of a down year for him though. Has he been injured?
Yeah, he's been banged up a little bit.
Yeah, he's only played 48 games this year, so I guess that
Yeah.
does make a little bit of sense. What about we'll go with two more. Aaron Ekblad, 8-year, $7.5 million deal. There have been legitimate talks that he might get moved on from.
I feel like Eric Ekblad's gonna be somewhere else next year.
I think so too. I think again you look at what you could get with that money that's coming off the books, and again too, you got to sign Sam Bennett. You got to sign. I think Bobrovsky's coming off of a contract soon. I don't think it's this year; it's the following year. But
Bob's in 3 years. I think he's 3 years.
Is he?
Well, he signed an 8-year deal.
Post on it.
Yeah, he signed an 8-year deal like 4 years ago.
No, he's next year.
Oh, is he?
Him, Panarin, that whole 2019 class is next year.
Oh, goddamn.
Makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Yeah. Stop that. Let's stop that.
What about Ivan Provorov? I think he gets traded most likely, but if Columbus is in contention, maybe they do keep him.
I feel like he'd stick around.
Okay. And then let's look at the goaltenders. Okay. Couple goalies we can bring into here. Adin Hill from Vegas coming off a 2-year, $4.9 million deal.
I feel like he stays unless Vegas wants to change their goaltender.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Jonathan Quick, 39 years old, last year of
retires.
You think so?
He
might kick it around for another year or two.
Like he's good, but here's the thing: like he has 3 Stanley Cups, a Vezina Trophy, Conn Smythe. He's done it all.
He has done it
all. There's nothing more to prove.
That is true. He's done it all. He is a Hall of Famer. One of the ones with the goalies is very interesting. Is Logan Thompson and Adin Hill are both expiring. Do you think both of them stick around? Do you think one of them sticks around? What are your thoughts on that?
Thompson's gonna get a lot of interest on the market.
Yeah. What's crazy is that he's still on his ELC. He's on a $766K deal.
But I feel like Thompson's going to be the top goaltender on the market this offseason.
Probably. I feel like Washington keeps him around, though.
I could see it, but I also see a team who's desperate for a goalie saying, let's go get him.
But you also have Lindgren you got to pay to. You have Chikrin you got to pay as well. Ovechkin's coming up next year, I think.
So you really need to think, do you value Chikrin more than Thompson?
I'm being honest, I think you value Thompson.
I agree with that. But I don't know. There's going to be goaltenders on the market, get so many suitors.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Frederik Andersen's another one.
I could see Logan Thompson getting interest from Seattle.
Sign him to another massive contract and have him crash and burn. I still think he stays, though.
I'm trying to think of teams that need to go, Seattle, Montreal might be interested in him. It's tough. Thompson,
he is the top goalie, 100%. I look at this class, he is the top goalie by far.
Wait, would he be an RFA?
No, he's the UFA.
Okay, so
he might not be on his ELC then. That might be my fault. Yeah, he's not on his USC then. Frederik Andersen.
Move on.
Okay. I mean, they do have to check off. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Freddie Andersen will be 37, I'm pretty sure. 36.
He's 35 as of right now. But
yeah, so he'll be 36 when...
No, he'll be 30. Well, yeah, he'll be 36 when he plays for the new team he plays for. So, I don't know. There was another guy that I wanted to... Karel Vizmelka.
Ooh, he might get some interest too.
We've been hearing that he might get traded for years, though. I think he might actually stay. He's 28 years old.
I feel like he's going to stay. I saw him play today. He looked pretty decent between the pipes. I feel like they keep him.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, to be honest with you. Your boy Anton Forsberg's expiring.
I feel like he's... we're going to move on from Anton Forsberg. I guess that's what I feel. I love Forsy, but Marilainen's been, balling out.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we'll leave it at this. Robin Leonard. The Snake Farm. That's where he's going. Yeah, so Leonard is expiring. He hasn't
Snake
played
Island. Snake Island.
That is what. Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap up this episode by looking at some hot takes that you guys submitted. I posted on the Instagram earlier today about hot takes that I wanted you guys to submit. So we have a couple here, not too many, like 4 or 5. There's actually a lot of Capitals ones in here. The first one comes from Sebastian Sups, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Seb.
He says the Hurricanes will be first-round exits this year. That is the take. That is the take that everyone loves to say.
And Seb is a Canes fan.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's a Canes and Wings fan, so that's an interesting take because I'm looking at who they would play. They would play New Jersey first round. As of right now, they play New Jersey.
That'd be a fun first round.
It would be a really fun first round.
I think they probably would play Jersey, honestly.
And I'll be honest, I could see them losing first round to Jersey.
I could, yeah.
That's a pretty good take.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, it is a hot take, but it's not.
Yeah, like Carolina could definitely beat Jersey, but like it's pretty reasonable take.
This one comes from Checking From Behind. Shout out to those boys. Capitals have a legit shot to end up in the finals.
No.
I feel like, yeah, and again, people have been like raining down on me because they love it when I hate on the Caps. What's funny for me is like I could see the Caps being as good as they are right now and losing the first round.
Yeah, and I've been saying too. Like I don't believe
they will, but
like
again,
they're a great team right now. We've seen teams who play very well in the season crash and burn in the first round multiple times.
I think that they at least win in the first round.
You look at all the new pieces that have not had playoff experience too.
Here's the thing, though. They would play Tampa right now.
Ooh.
They might even play New York. Are you really? Well, I mean, they beat New York New York beat them last year.
You don't want to. I'll be honest. You don't want to play New York.
You don't want to play New York. You don't want to play Tampa either. If you end up with Boston, you're okay.
You know, with Boston, Ottawa, you're really okay. You'll probably win.
But if you play Tampa, I don't know about that one, Chief.
But here's the thing. Let's say they get out of the first round. You got to play Jersey or Carolina.
That's true as well. It's gonna be a well, again, like I'm not saying that like they can. I don't know. They are the best team in the East right now by points. I don't know if they're like the team that I.
And like even if you get to the third round, you got to play probably Florida.
Probably. Right now it looks like Florida. That's actually crazy. Or Toronto. Oh my god.
Yeah, them Toronto. Like I don't know. Like Washington, if they get an opponent that's like I think Tampa and New York, you don't want to play.
No, you don't. Again, it's January, so I don't know why we're going into this now. But again, I think they can. They do have a shot. Every team has a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I'm gonna doubt them.
I think they can. I'll say it. I think they can. It depends on who they play, though, in the playoffs. Like, again, that it all bars on that. This next one's also a Capitals take. It comes from, it's Jake05. He says, if the Caps make at least the Eastern Conference Finals, Thompson has to be a lock for the Vezina. I'm going to stop you right there. The Vezina is only based off the regular season.
Yeah, no, the Vezina votes are counted literally the day after the season.
Well, we went into the Eastern Conference Finals talk. Could Thompson win the Vezina?
He'll be in the running. I don't think he's going to win it, though.
He's a finalist, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like it's Hellebuck's award to lose.
He is hands down winning this award. I'm sorry.
Unless Hellebuck has a big fall off these last 3 months.
I find that hard.
I know, and that's I find it very hard to believe that's going to happen. But I think Thompson should be a finalist.
He has almost as many shutouts as he does regulation losses. This guy is winning the Vezina. Like, come on, what are we doing?
If you want to change that the take to Conn Smythe, then we can have a conversation.
Yeah, if they make the conference finals and Thompson is backstopping them, then yes, I could see Conn Smythe for sure. But Vezina, like, again, that's a regular season based award, and I think it's Hellebuck's to lose.
Yeah.
The other two, they're from Zach and Dom. They're just saying Raymond's better than Stu.
Well, that's wrong. Anyway.
Yeah, he said Zach said Raymond would be the best player on Ottawa.
That's a lie, but I mean, stats wise, it's true. But like, you look at Stützle's 200-foot game, and you look at, let's see, he plays with Adam Gaudette and Ridley Gregg. I would kill to see Stützle play with Larkin.
Yeah, Raymond is rolling right now. He's having a good season.
He's also a big power. Like, he gets a majority of his points on the power play. Well, not majority, but like a good chunk of his points come from special teams.
24 of his 52 points have come from the power play. That is almost half of his points. So, yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. And then with Stu, like, again, Raymond's having a good year, but you got to look at that as well. With Stu, he's had 18 of his 48 points come from the power play. Let me do my trusty math here. That is only 37% of his points. But again, when you're on the power play, you get a lot of points from the power play.
Mm-hmm.
But again, half of his points have come from the power play. So I think Raymond, if we're talking, is he better than Stu this season? You think?
This season, I would say they're even. Like Raymond puts up more goals, Stu puts up more assists.
Raymond is, I think, leading U22 players in
scoring. Yeah.
So
go to figure Stu 23.
You know, I'll make both sides angry. I think these are two really good players for years to come, and not say who's better.
Boo!
And that's it for the hot takes. Thank you guys who submitted them. We'll do that again more often. It is a lot of fun, though. I will say that. Mm-hmm. So we'll definitely do that a lot more. That is it for this episode of the Northern Block Podcast. Block, a pretty good episode.
Very good episode. We said it would be a light episode, and it turned out to be a pretty long episode.
I mean, that's what makes these episodes fun, is when we get into conversations like we did. So, yeah. Okay, well, that will do it for this episode of the podcast. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We really do appreciate it. Please follow our socials at NordBlock Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. If you're listening on the Nordcast Network, thank you. Subscribe down below if you're new. We greatly appreciate that. That is it for us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Ciao.
Let me flip this script. I feel privileged for all who can witness this. I am close to divine. Know the moment is mine, need an omen or sign. Providing a back sound to all the squares that ask around. Be getting it, my skills pay me. Trying to get a million, baby, with an adopted flow that God gave me. Tell whoever runners that they spot is temporary till I take it, it's mine. I'm selfish, you will. Tell Miss I'm on my wealth tip. So when we cash out soon, I'm just investing. No yes men, I've been a legend since before mom and dad had me and was best friends. I chew through comp, don't test them. I chew on tracks cause after that I bless them. I just do what I do. You see me? I just do what I do. I just do what I do. I don't know about you, I just do what I do. Check. I just do what I do. See me? I just do what I do. Feel me? I just do what I do.